2023 has been stacked for new game releases for you and I. Many of those releases are great, but for every great release, there's always going to be something that nobody asked for. One of those things is the topic of today's discussion, Disney Speedstorm. The thing though is that this discussion isn't gonna go the way some of you might think. Before I elaborate, quick disclaimer. The following video features I, the Black Hokage, sharing some of my general impressions of Disney Speedstorm. I've only spent a few hours on the game, so understand this is not a full review. Feel free to take everything I say with a grain of salt, seeing as my opinion of the game may change over time. Always do research before spending money on anything so you do not end up with a pile in your face. Now with that disclaimer out of the way, here's what you need to know before you install Disney Speedstorm. Disney Speedstorm is a new kart racing game inspired by classics such as Mario Kart and Crash Team Racing. Surprisingly, it's developed by Gameloft, which is an important talking point we'll get into later. It's free to play, has cross-play, and it features cross-progression. It's currently available to download for free on pretty much every platform imaginable besides the Ouya. That's not a joke, by the way. You can play this game on the PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, PC, Switch, iOS, and Android. For my video, you'll be looking at the PC version of the game. I went into trying this game with zero expectations. Rarely do kart racers innovate, so rarely do I like them, with the last one I truly enjoyed being Sonic All-Stars Racing Transformed. And why is that? Because Sonic Transformed tried something new with the vehicle transformation mechanic. Recently, I saw a trailer for Disney Speedstorm in my sub box. It was free, it looked decent, so I said to myself, why not? And I'm happy to report back to you that this game is more than decent. Dare I say it's pretty darn good, and it tries some new things with the kart racing formula. I am genuinely shocked by the gameplay here. When it comes to the core gameplay, the racing is smooth and intuitive, but there's just enough skill gap there with the drifting mechanic that high-level players will be rewarded with extra speed. Seeing as this is a Disney game, everything in it is Disney themed. Speedstorm features an all-star cast of drivers with characters such as Mickey Mouse, Mulan, Buzz Lightyear, and more. All the levels are themed after a Disney movie, and each racetrack is complemented by a remix of a song from said movie. The presentation in this game is great, and not only does it look great, but I caught myself bobbing my head to the remixes on each track. I have no problem admitting that the EDM hip-hop remix of A Whole New World was fire. But what kept me playing this game is what it brings new to the kart racing formula. Some of it is small, and some of it is big. Let's start with the small. I enjoyed the little touches that help this game stand out. At the start of every race, you can get a speed boost like in Mario Kart. The difference is that there's a meter next to the countdown. Rev your engine into the green zone right when the countdown ends, and you'll get a speed boost at the start of the race. It's almost like Gears of War's active reload. I appreciated that visual feedback versus just guessing in Mario Kart. Another small change I liked is how the racetracks were designed. Every track features your standard shortcuts to get the one up on your opponents, but they also featured blue rails you can grind on for even faster shortcuts. The trade-off is you have to balance your car on the rail while you grind with your analog stick like the old Tony Hawk games. This was dope because not only did it mean you had to learn the racetrack, but it also meant you had to be fully engaged if you wanted to use the rails. Not balancing your car meant you would slow down. It's a simple way to reward higher level players without it feeling cheesy. The big change to the kart formula that I like is this game's class system. There are 4 classes in Speedstorm. They include Brawler, Defender, Trickster, and Speedster. Each Disney character belongs to one of the classes, so who you pick is not purely cosmetic. Now what the classes do is they provide a preference towards the items that you receive in a race. Every driver can receive every item in the race, but if you pick a driver under the Brawler class, you're more likely to receive offensive items when you touch the crates. Obviously, Defenders will get more defensive items, Tricksters will get more tricky items, and Speedsters will get more speedy items. You get the point. And the icing on the cake is that each character has their own special move. In a little time that I played, my favorite character is Donald Duck so far. His special move gives him a shield where if anyone attacks him, it activates a counter where he slaps anyone nearby. So between the class system and the special moves, I think they did enough to help this kart racer stand out because these elements do add a layer of strategy to the races. If you have a friend who likes to play more defensively, it might be better to use a Brawler class to keep them on their toes. But there is one caveat that I have with this system, which I'll touch on a little bit later. I want to stick to singing this game's praises before I talk about the negatives. Some other positives is that this game runs buttery smooth. I can't speak to the other versions, but on PC, it runs great. I had no issues, and that goes for the online as well. Finding a match match wasn't too hard seeing as crossplay is there, and when I got into a match, I never encountered lag. The game features a 3-man party system as well, so if you want to hop online with some buddies and play ranked, you can. I also appreciated the attention to detail. Before every race starts, every driver is highlighted and you can see what platform they're playing on. Also, for whatever it's worth, the online experience is competitive if you're looking for that experience. I'm currently only bronze ranked, but it had me sitting up in my chair just trying to earn 2nd or 3rd place, and I was having a lot of fun doing so.
So what's the catch?
So you sat here and you've listened to me praise the gameplay, level design, soundtrack, and online experience, and now you're probably wondering, what's the catch? Well, let's start with the small offenders and then we're gonna move to the bigger stuff. If you don't care about playing this game ranked online, I got some bad news for you. There is not much here for you. See, Disney Speedstorm seriously lacks content. I think Gameloft and Disney really missed the mark here. They could have easily created a single-player story mode similar to Diddy Kong Racing with cameos from different Disney characters. Single player essentially is just a bunch of races that progressively get harder. Each race does have objectives like drift for 2 seconds or something, but it's nothing groundbreaking. The only real reason to play single player is to unlock new characters and items to customize on your character and driver. But just know it's very lazy. It's just a menu that takes you from one race to another. Not to mention, if you don't want to spend any money, it's gonna take a long time to unlock the good stuff. And this leads me to my biggest issue with the game. Microtransactions, microtransactions, microtransactions. Oh boy, are they in full effect here. Matter of fact, it is the sole reason this game has mixed reviews if you check the Steam page. It's not because the game is bad. The game is good. Just read the reviews. It's nothing but people complaining about the predatory business practices. Soon as you boot this game up, there are pop-ups in your face letting you know what bundle of characters is on sale. If you don't want a character bundle, then you can buy them one by one, or you can just buy in-game currency with the highest offering being $100. The problem with this business model is that it counterbalances the core gameplay. All the cool characters are locked behind a paywall, and what did I say earlier? Each character has a special ability, so you can argue all the cool abilities are locked behind a paywall, which could make the game feel unfair. I played ranked online for a little bit, and when I was in the rookie ranked, it was nothing but people running free characters. Once I placed into the bronze rank, I saw nothing but characters locked behind a paywall. You also have to upgrade your driver to see improved speeds, acceleration, and handling. Upgrades can be earned in single player, but once again, it's slow. So instead, you have people out here just purchasing the upgrades, which isn't cool. This game isn't unplayable. I was able to earn 2nd and 3rd place a couple times off of skill, but it's clear some players have an advantage because I had to work too hard for them placements. But I guess that's to be expected knowing this game is developed by Gameloft, a notorious mobile game developer responsible for some of the most egregious knockoffs of popular console games. I will never forget when they made the store brand Assassin's Creed for iOS and Android called Backstab. Look, I'm not telling you not to play Speedstorm. At its core, it is an awesome game. And on top of that, it's free to play, cross-play, and it has cross progression. Sadly, it's just held back by its business model. I think this game would have done better as a $30 release, and if they wanted to add a store for skins to make some extra cash, they could have. So understand, play Disney Speedstorm at your own risk if you're interested, and if you have kids who like it, make sure they are not charging your credit card. No, seriously, guard your credit card. It feels like I'm saying that more and more these days, and that's just sad. Like, take NBA 2K24 for example. That is another new game with crazy microtransactions. Actually, they're worse than Disney Speedstorms, and 2K is a $70 game. If you want to know why their microtransactions are worse, click the card on the screen and check out my previous episode of Before You Install on NBA 2K24.